When it comes to tattoos and piercings, all this stuff, like, it's for most men, it's going to be either neutral, but that's the best it's ever going to be. Like, when you get all tatted up, piercings, it's either going to be a neutral and you're doing that for yourself because you like it, or it's going to be a negative.
For example, the 444. When I got this tattoo, I just thought angel numbers meant you were closer to God. I didn't research this. I didn't read it in the Bible.
I hate them all. I should have listened to my mother, and I want to get them lasered off. And it's going to be sore and it's going to be expensive.
We get into women and their tattoos, right? I came across this clip that I was going to cover. So we'll talk about the tattoos and the regret that ends up coming of them. The idea that women want to change themselves, the makeup, like I talked about before, the idea behind the tattoos. If you're changing your appearance, you're not who you are in the end.
Turn around, hold on. I'll do a little spin, a little leg spin. Six. What the heck, man?
I don't like tattoos.
Oh my god, it's always the tattoos. Tattoos are cool, man. What would I have to be like a 10 though?
No tattoos.
Okay.
Hair out, not braided. Different outfit.
Guys don't. So it's like Brian Atlas on the Whatever podcast talks about. Guys don't like the idea of fake. We like real. We want a woman that has the confidence to be able to say, yes, this is who I am. I love who I am, but am willing to strive for better. That's where the body positivity falls flat. I understand you're perfectly well with what you are, how you are. I'm perfectly fine with how I am, but I know that I have weight to lose. I know I have money to make in women's eyes. I know I can do better, and that's what we should be trying for. Better in our own right, not in the idea of adding something to us. With tattoos especially, it really depends upon the sex, the gender, the male or female. Males, it's taken by women as a sign of dominance, a sign of masculinity of sorts. With women, it's either a neutral or a negative. It shows a body dysmorphia of sorts, an understanding that I can be better, but I don't know how to be better. So men don't like the idea of tattoos. In fact, speaking of the Whatever podcast, looks like there's a clip here of the Whatever podcast. So we'll jump to that. I like the Whatever podcast.
Blame you. This is your fault.
Yep, it's 100% our fault. What were we thinking?
And this is from Alpha Central. So if you haven't checked out Alpha Central, check them out. He's a pretty good creator. Brings a lot of these clips to the surface. We'll talk about this one here.
Ultimately, when it comes to tattoos and piercings, all this stuff, like, it's for most men, it's going to be either neutral, but that's the best it's ever going to be. Like, when you get all tatted up, piercings, it's either going to be a neutral and you're doing that for yourself because you like it, or it's going to be a negative for men. It's either a neutral or a negative.
Yeah, men don't look at women. No men that I know of look at women and go, man, I really wish she was completely covered in tattoos. She would look so much better if she was completely and utterly not herself anymore. I mean, look at the girl in the Felicity. She's probably not around anymore. I haven't seen her lately, but I don't understand why anybody would want to ruin that with makeup,
But all your tattoos
all your especially,
it's almost never going to be a positive.
For me,
now, there's some dudes.
I guess they don't have that much tattoos. There was one or two girls on recently that have just been absolutely and utterly like a tackle box blew up in their face.
Who have like tattoos, but it's a guy's never going to be like, I didn't want her. Now that she's all blasted in tattoos and has a septum piercing, now I want to bang her. No.
I think that a guy that has tattoos would be more like obviously accepting.
Yeah, she's got a sleeve. And if that sleeve wasn't there, she would be fairly attractive. Now, if you're just looking at these girls, these are fairly attractive girls. They start to talk and it starts to lose attraction. But yeah, there was no flow on her tattoo work on that arm. There was nothing. They don't have any forethought into the way that their tattoos are going to flow. They just say, there's a lot of these, and I won't necessarily get into it because we don't have the time per se, but there's a lot of these that talk about how they've just thrown together a idea and have it done. There's no forethought in it. You're going to be with this for the rest of your life. You need to be able to say, I don't think I'm ever going to regret having this. Wikimoto, I've kept my tattoos below my shirt line, but I'm getting a big ass Made in USA on an old military stencil print on the back of my neck. So keeping them below your shirt line, there's a positive. I mean, now we're getting into the idea that most people don't really care. The corporate jobs, you're able to have full sleeves and things like that. But up until just recently, tattoos aren't allowed in the workforce. They weren't a thing to want. And then you get old, and it's like my grandpa, he had a couple of tattoos from his time in the service, and he regretted them because they got old, they got wrinkly, they got droopy, whatever the case is. And it shows a lack of love for yourself, a lack of self-respect. I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it over and over again. The self-respect idea. To be able to say, I love myself. Why would I need to do that to myself? I just need to be healthy. That's where the body positivity falls flat, is where are you healthy? Because obese, especially the morbidly obese, you're literally just wasting your life away at that point in time. You're waiting for your end. And don't get me wrong, I've been there. I don't like the way that the world is going, but to think that I need to just forget the world and stop working at anything is kind of ridiculous. I love myself the way I am, but I know I have things to improve on.
Of a girl that has them, you know what I mean? And if that's like the type of person that you want to attract, like,
Here's what I agree with.
Okay.
A guy who has tattoos is probably more accepting, that's the word you use,
Yeah.
accepting of a woman who has
Right.
tattoos. Whether or not it makes her more attractive,
Oh, no.
I don't think that's the case.
No.
Even for men who have tattoos, I think it's a neutral or it's a negative.
Tattoos are a quick way to make a woman.
So again, like he's saying here, tattoos are a very quick way to make a woman undateable for men. We don't care for tattoos. We don't look at a woman and say, man, she'd be so much more gorgeous with tattoos. If she's got tattoos, it's like, yeah, she's a gorgeous woman with tattoos. And I've looked at a woman so many times, and I understand this is anecdotal and I'm just a one potato and I don't matter. But I've looked at a woman that's just absolutely drop dead gorgeous and she has tattoos, and I immediately go, nah, I'm done with that. I don't even want to deal with it. I have no intention, because it shows a body dysmorphia. It shows a mental condition of sorts. You're not happy with yourself. You wanted to add something. I don't get me wrong. I understand. But if you have a purpose behind them, like his words of love, have 2 tattoos, there's a thought, purpose behind them, and they can be covered. I have 2 tattoos that are able to be covered. I understand the stigma against them in reality, right?
Date you because you have tattoos. Peace out.
It's not just the tattoos, it's the personality.
And see, that's where it really boils down to it. Is typically it's not just the tattoos, it's the personality that goes behind it. With the tattoo, with the idea that I need to change myself, it gets into the mental condition, that idea that things need to be different.
Some of my tattoos. For example, the 444. When I got this tattoo, I just thought angel numbers meant you were closer to God. I didn't research this. I didn't read it in the Bible. And I just liked.
And again, just throwing something on your skin that you don't do any actual research behind. You have no intention of actually making sure that that's something that you want, that you understand what that means. I don't know what the 444 stands for, but a lot of those kinds of things are prison tats. They don't have a good meaning behind them.
how this looked on my arm. That's why I got it. I have a Gemini tattoo behind my ear. I used to be a Gemini thumper. Like, I'm Gemini down. I took pride in being a Gemini. I made videos about being a Gemini.
Behind the ear? Man, I don't know if this is makeup or if this is a permanent tattoo on her head here. The hair, like, what is with that, ladies? I don't understand that process either, for that matter.
I have a tattoo on my spine of the 7 chakras. I'm not Buddhist.
Down the spine, that's an interesting one. I'm not gonna lie, I have that one as well. Not the chakras. I have nothing to do with Buddhism. But the impulsive behavior isn't something that I get behind. But yeah, Pumpkinhead, behind the ear, I can't even, that would hurt. That one would be painful. I want to say underneath my arm, that one's painful. But on the spine is an interesting sensation, and a lot of people would probably, it'd be painful for. It was something I thought about a long time before I did it, but I don't know if I would necessarily do it again. I don't know if I would necessarily say that you should or would be a good idea to do it on the spine. Again, I've lived a life that I can basically say, don't live like I have lived. Don't think like I do. Just think for yourself.
And I don't have anything crazy. I have like a bunch of small ones. I have a bigger one on my ribs, but I always hated the saying, would you put a bumper sticker on a Lamborghini? And I always said, well, if I didn't think bumper stickers were heinous, I probably would. And now I'm like, I have a whole different perspective, because I'm like, why would I mark up this body that God has given me? Like, this body is not even my own. It belongs to the Lord. It belongs to Him. Like, who am I to put these markings all over my body? And that's just been like a recent conviction of mine.
And that's another thing, like she's saying, is if you're convicted to Christianity, if you're convicted to the understanding of your body is a perfection, why would you feel the need to change it? Right. And again, I'm not saying that all tattoos are a bad thing, but you're putting something foreign in your body. And I have had reactions to the ink that I've used in the tattoos that I've had. They haven't been severe. I can't really say that they're not a bad thing, but I can't really say what they're going to end up doing in the end. Right. Pharmacat, welcome in. Thank you very much for the comment, the engagement. Really appreciate you joining me. I've been enjoying your streams as well. If anybody's in the chat that doesn't know, Pharmacat has her own streams. She's trying to get out there as well. And she's got some cute little sheepies that she's been showing us, and they've been pretty cool. All right. So this one here is where they start to really understand that it's not what they want to have going on with their body. Especially this one, actually.
But can't define what too many is.
Too many is one more than what she has at the moment. Her man said.
So that one was basically her man had said if she gets too many, he doesn't want to be with her anymore. And probably if I were to get into a relationship and I were to have said that, I'd probably mean the same thing. You get one more and that's probably too many. I probably wouldn't date somebody that had tattoos if I have that big of a problem with it. But I don't know exactly how I feel. And so essentially I haven't dated very many girls that have tattoos because I don't know how I feel about them.
Honest. I like a person who's honest and can keep it real about everything. There's no need to lie.
I broke the heart because I don't really want to mess with Jessie.
But see, that's just it, is she's got Jessie on her like chest. Like the chest tattoos, just no. No, none of it at all. But to have somebody's name that you can't guarantee that you're going to be for the rest of your life is wild to me. But this one here is what I was going for.
Because I see everything but everything and Jessie. I don't want to see Jessie. I just want to see everything.
Ain't nowhere to run. Don't worry about Jessie.
Okay.
I mean, she says she's moved on, but the tattoo's still giving Jessie.
do a tour of all the tattoos that I hate and that I regret getting. So, here we go. So I hate all of them. Got this done when I was 18, 19.
So again, no real flow to the idea. She got that one. It had mom in it. She just left the mom out. There was no thought behind it. She didn't care to have it. She just wanted a tattoo. The butterfly, the roses, they're all very, very, every woman has got them. The feathers, the dream catcher, I've seen them all on women, and you're not being unique anymore. This is all of the same kind of concept. If you're not doing something different, you're just the same as everyone else.
I hate them all. I should have listened to my mother, and I want to get them lasered off, and it's going to be sore and it's going to be expensive. So if your brain is...
And that's the other thing is when you do decide that it's not for you anymore or ever was, and you want to have them lasered off, that arm she's talking about, I'm pretty sure she talks about it being $4,000 for that to be lasered off. That little bit of work. I'm sure she spent probably maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000, and even that is probably expensive work. The people in the chat probably could tell me more about the prices on that. But again, probably not anywhere near $4,000, and that's what she's going to end up paying to have them lasered off.
Isn't developed yet, think about getting a tattoo.
I should have listened to my mother.
So again, listen to your family members. They usually know what's best for you. Are tattoos red flag for women?
Any woman that is obsessed with drawing all over her body, there's something wrong with her. I've never met a woman that's heavily tattooed that didn't have something wrong with her. Men, tattoos are totally different.
So again, like he's saying here, it seems like a pretty elderly man, right? And in his time, he's never met a woman that's obsessed with drawing on herself without that issue with her condition, with her mental condition, basically. Men, it's seen as a masculine thing. I'm not saying they're a bad thing. I'm just saying that men don't see them as a good thing. So that's kind of all I have to talk about. Pharmacat, I never got any tattoos. I just seemed like a big thing to do and never felt comfy about it. Pharmacat, props. Good on you, man. Like, good on you, girl. Sorry. That is awesome. We need more women that are willing to be happy with the way that they were made. There's always room for improvement, but to put something on your body that's never going to go anywhere, it takes a lot of thought process behind it. And the people who do have tattoos, again, thought process is all that you need to do. If you really like it, if you really want to be there forever, don't feel like you need to change that. Just understand that there are a lot of people out there that regret the decision after, and it's a very, very permanent thing. Very permanent. Takes a lot of effort to laser it off. Please take care of yourselves out there within the United States. Remember your Second Amendment rights. Keep those handy. Your response time will always be faster than that of the police, regardless of what that response is. We need to start utilizing ourselves as much as we can. For those outside of the United States, please take care of yourselves out there. Stop giving up your rights. We appreciate you as much as anybody else, or at least I do. You're all very important. For now, Christ is God, and take care of yourselves. And the potato signing off.